10 years after the Vatican took it over, the Legion of Christ religious order is in crisis again. Now, this religious order in Mexico, founded in 1941, was once powerful and influential, but it now faces an existential crisis. Its founder, a pedophile, is said to have sexually abused more than 60 boys, and this latest scandal will raise questions that the Vatican will have to answer. More in our special report.
This is Ana Lucia Salazar. She is a television host in Mexico. This 36-year-old is also a mother of 3. And she has come out with a shocking confession of sexual abuse when she was just 8 years old at an elite Catholic school in Cancun, in Mexico. With tears streaming through her eyes, Ana recounted her horrific experience. The administrator of the school used to take girls out of class and send them to the chapel where the priest from the Legion of Christ religious order would sexually abuse them. Ana said, as some were reading the Bible, he would rape the others in front of them. Little girls aged as low as 6. Salazar's horrific story has been corroborated by other victims and the Legion itself. The revelations have sparked a new credibility crisis for the once influential order.
I think that the church is for us to feel good. We come and trust the church with the well-being of a child, and this happens. This is very bad, and that's why a lot of faith has been lost. People go to other religions under which the same thing happens. So where is one to go for refuge?
A recent investigation has revealed that sexual abuse of minors was rife, especially among superiors of the legionnaires of the ultra-conservative religious order. 175 minors were victims of abuse by 33 priests and 71 seminarians, with at least 60 boys abused by its founder, Father Marcial Maciel. Most victims were boys between the ages of 11 and 16. For decades, the Vatican dismissed accusations that Father Maciel had abused them sexually. Maciel, who died in 2008, was one of the most notorious pedophiles who secretly fathered children with at least 2 women while being feted by the Vatican.
For the next Christmas celebration, to demonstrate a firm sense of community, to receive the baby Jesus with hope, being aware of situations of poverty and the dehumanization of sins in all its forms and the oppression of man.
I think that priests should be representative of a moral standing. It is serious, and recognizing them now is a step to start getting familiar, so I think it is good.
The Vatican first acknowledged Maciel's crimes in 2006, when former Pope Benedict ordered him to retire to a life of prayer and penitence. But the Pope resisted calls for the order to be dissolved because it was toxic to the core. The Vatican instead took over the order in 2010 and began a process of reform.
It is something that should be recognized in favor of the people, of justice. But to recognize this as if it is something to be proud of, no, this is the 21st century. An important decade in humanity is coming to a close, and they are just starting to recognize this and that it happened. I think it's unacceptable.
Even as a weeks-long gathering in Rome begins to choose new leaders for the Legion of Christ, Ana Lucia Salazar's confession is shaking the order's foundations. And reverberations of the scandal will hit the Vatican. Salazar's case is particularly grave since her parents went to the bishop to denounce the priest who raped her, Fernando Martinez Suarez. But Martinez had friends, chief among them, founding Father Maciel, who had first sexually abused him. Martinez was one of nearly a dozen Legion priests who were childhood victims of the founder and went on to molest other minors. It's clear that the Vatican reform process has failed to address one key area: punishing known historic abusers and the people who covered for them. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.